get it. Early into this series against the New York Knicks, you thought, okay, maybe the Pacers might actually win this thing. And then when they got out to that 3-1 series lead, it was like, okay, the Pacers are heading to the finals. Sure, did it take them 6 games? Maybe, but they done it. They done proved everybody wrong every single step of the way. I promise you, they was underdogs at the beginning of every series that they had so far, and they're gonna be underdogs heading into the finals, okay? Even I don't think that they're gonna beat the Thunder, but you know what I do think? They're gonna give them one hell of a hard time. Plus, you don't know what the devil magic that Haliburton is working with, the way he be hitting these buzzer beaters. But apparently, these NBA analysts don't know this shit, because somehow Pascal Siakam won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Sure, Pascal Siakam be having his nice 30, 40-point games, especially versus the New York Knicks. But, are we not watching the same series? Tyrese Haliburton got robbed! And it's really unfortunate, too, because, he will win the Finals MVP if the Pacers win the Finals. But that's a big if. He should have won this Eastern Conference Finals MVP, if I'm being honest. The numbers he be averaging in that series alone, he had 20-plus points per game, 10-plus rebounds, and all the tricky shit he been doing on the court. Oh my gosh, what a versatile player. This is exactly why Rick Carlisle wanted him out of the draft. Back when Rick Carlisle was the coach for the Mavs, he was all like, fuck it, I want to trade Jalen Brunson if it means we can move up and draft Tyrese. Now, of course, that didn't happen. But anyway, Tyrese and Rick Carlisle both find themselves in Indiana, where they've been making some magic happen, baby. Now, if you would have told me back in October at the beginning of the season that the Pacers would be in the NBA Finals, I would have thought one or two things. Either this guy's a Pacers fan, or he on drugs. And honestly, I didn't think Pacers fans existed. So high-key, I would have just thought you was on drugs. But look at us, all wrong and shit. Yes, I said us, because I guarantee you 80% of the audience didn't think this shit was gonna, 99% of the audience didn't think that this shit was gonna happen. But I'm happy it did. As an NBA fan, I love me some parity in the league. I like that for the last 5-6 years, it's been new champion at the new champion at the new champion type shit. You had the Raptors, the Lakers, the Warriors, the damn Boston Celtics, everyone in their mom getting a ring, and this time it's gonna be one of these 2 weak body out franchises. So shit be changing, and there's a bigger reason for all of this. I think it's because the era of the NBA Super Team is officially coming to a close. Man, it's honestly because of that goofy new CBA agreement that CJ McCollum signed, who made him the Players Association president. I don't fucking know how we got into that position. I don't even think he knows how we got into that position. But basically, if your team has like 3 superstars, that's gonna put you in cap hell. It's also gonna make you impossible for you to re-sign all your superstar players. It's, the Boston Celtics are having a problem with it right now. But you know who's decent? Teams like the Indiana Pacers and the Thunder. There was recently an interview where I'm pretty sure it was Miles Turner. He came out and he said, honestly, the new way of the NBA, it's all power of friendship. No more super teams. You gotta win with the power of friendship, which is something that both of these teams have. So maybe he might be onto something. Yes, the Lego man himself, Miles Turner, might actually be cooking, baby. But that's a story for a different day. What I will tell you is, Tyrese Haliburton, CBA agreement or not, he was going to come for his chip this year. He had to go up against the Celtics last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. They made it that far last season, but they got that shit worked in. Now, every single game in that series was close as fuck. They just couldn't get it done when it mattered. But this time, against the Knicks, shit was different. And that's because Tyrese Haliburton came into this season with nothing but vengeance on his mind. They all thought that shit was a fluke run, like Trae Young and the Hawks back in 2021. But guess what? The Pacers are here! They're here! If you were a sports bettor, you should have been taking them serious about a month and a half ago. But if you weren't, well, you're in a whole lot of debt now, you know what I'm saying? Because Tyrese Haliburton, he be cooking and shit or whatever. I mean, against the Milwaukee Bucks, guess what he be doing? He don't be scoring that much, but he had about 2 games where he had over 20 points and 4 games where he averaged 10 or more assists while being pretty efficient from the field, 45% on average that series. They end up beating the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, did it help that Damian Lillard went out with a torn ACL? Maybe the series would have played out differently, but that's back-to-back years where they kill the Bucks in the playoffs to take them against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's when shit got really interesting. When they had to go up against the Cavs, who were a fugazi 1 seed, looking like the Hawks in the mid-2010s with Jeff Teague and Kyle Korver and Al Horford and co. That's basically what this Cavaliers team was. They gave them what? Not 1, but 2 All-Stars this season just for them to lose in the second round against the Pacers. That should be crazy. But that's because of Tyrese Haliburton. I mean, that comeback that they made in game 2, oh my God, that shit was miraculous. When he was holding his balls and shit in that series, that's when you knew it was a wrap. And the fact that they were able to win that series in not 7, not 6, but 5 games, holy shit. Shout out to not only Tyrese and Pascal, but also TJ McConnell, Miles Turner, Andrew Nembhard, who've been having himself one hell of a playoffs. We will talk about that man in a second. And even, I guess, if you want to talk about Benedict Mathurin, he also been doing this thing. Not as useful as the other guys, but whatever. I mean, in this series against the Cavs, Tyrese cooked. His best game was arguably, if I'm being honest, game 1. He had 22 points, 13 assists. He shot 9 for 15 from the field. They won by 9. Game 2, like I said, they won that shit by 1 point because Tyrese is clutch. And then in game 5, Tyrese had 31 points. 31 points in game 5. If you don't think that this man is a closer, you're wrong. He be closing that bitch on everybody in his playoff run. He went ahead, he closed the playoff window on Damian Giannis. He closed the window on this Cavs team. They're going to need to shake something up if they want to get past the second round. He closed the door on Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. This is going to be one of the craziest offseasons ever. You heard Shams on Pat McAfee talking about this offseason shit going to get moving. And if you don't think any one of these 3 teams that the Pacers packed up ain't going to be involved, then you living under a rock. But here we're going to talk about, the series against the Knicks that just took place. Not only we're going to talk about Tyrese, we're going to talk about Pascal. We're going to talk about Nembhard in a second. For right now, I want to remind you guys to slow down, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Every subscription is really appreciated. We're on the road to 10,000. I know this late in the video, but I kind of forgot to mention it, so we're talking about it now. But anyway, in this series against the Knicks, holy shit, game 1 was a movie! Of course, it would go to OT, but you want to know why it went to OT? Because with the game on the line, Tyrese Haliburton doesn't go for a 2 to tie it. He spins the block, takes a shot from the 3-point line for a 1-point lead. Of course, his foot was on the line, Kevin Durant style, so it was actually a tie. They would go into OT, but he did do the Reggie Miller choke sign on the Knicks. That shit's iconic when Reggie did it, and it's iconic when Tyrese doing it. And they would win in OT, so he didn't waste the Sally or nothing. And then when they won game 2, oh, that's when you knew. That's when you knew this shit was wraps. A 2-0 series lead, it's over. It's over. Just end the ball. Tyrese, he went in ahead, double-digit assists, double-digit points. That shit was nice. And I know I've been on Tyrese's tip the whole video, but they wouldn't be where they're at if it wasn't for Pascal. Game 2, they won that game because Pascal had 39 points, 15 for 23 from the field, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, clear the deck because here Pascal Siakam is to come for the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. That game might have single-handedly won it for him. Now, in game 4, where the Knicks are up 2-1 in the series, they win this game. It's basically wraps. We're saying that the whole series. Anyway, Pascal had another 30-point game, 11 for 21 from the field, about 5 rebounds. And Tyrese also had a 30-point game. They both looking like, Kyrie and LeBron in that one playoff run where, they made that 3-1 comeback. That's basically what Pascal and Tyrese have been doing this whole playoff run. Shout out 2025. This should have been a movie and it's just getting started. But yeah, they won that series because Pascal and Tyrese are him. And the last guy I want to talk about, while there are a lot of honorable mentions, we got to bring up Andrew Nembhard because he was the team's 7th leading scorer in the regular season. But playoff time, Big Daddy Andrew stepped up, 12.8 points, 3.3 rebounds, 5.1 assists while shooting 47% from the field on 10 attempts a night. He began in 32 minutes. That's a lot more minutes than what he was used to in the regular season. But game recognized game, and the Pacers recognized the fact that Andrew Nembhard been a shooter. Nesmith also been nice. I didn't mention Nesmith earlier, but he's averaging 14 points himself. So if anyone deserves their flowers, it's Nesmith. This team is pretty deep. If only the Thunder didn't run deeper, then they would have a chance. But honestly, in every major statistical category, the Thunder just outweigh them. They got the better superstar, the better starting five, the better bench, the better head coach, maybe. You know what? The Pacers, I'll take that back. The Pacers have the better head coach. Rick Carlisle, he better. What he did with the Mavs in 2011, he gonna do that again with the Pacers in 2025. Write that shit down. Chad. But anyway, that's about it for this video. Shout out Tyrese. He's Haliburton. Catch y'all later. Much love. Deuces.